Martin Luther King Jr. Day today. Happy Monday. Happy Monday Motivation Day. And Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So the real reason I wanted to make this quick video is really what Martin Luther King stood for, obviously. And one of the things he was most famous for, obviously, was fighting injustices, here in America, but around the world, and judging people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. The thing he's most famous for, obviously, and this is something that I really believe, and there's a lot of people that are going to talk about Martin Luther King today, and he's a human. He's not infallible. He's we're all human. We all make mistakes. There's good things about him. There are bad things about him. However, when you are thinking of any person, what we should try to do, obviously, is think of the good things they said. And the bad things, obviously, right? We want to question everything here and seek truth. Trust but verify. But at the same time, I think the real reason that I wanted to make this video is because there's so many good quotes, there's so many good things that he did. People have a hard time being able to hold opposing opinions in their head at the same time. Meaning, some people will say, well, look at these bad things that he did in his life, and then they'll discount any of the good things he did, or any of the good things he said, or the virtues he held, or something to that effect. And I will say, again, if someone continually does weird things or does something, then yeah, it makes it harder to follow anything else and take seriously what they say. I would generally think that may hold more water when you're prognosticating the future. I think Peter Zeihan is a great example of this, going in the economy, global politics, geopolitics, Bitcoin world, stuff like that, when he's trashing Bitcoin, and clearly the 2-minute clip on Joe Rogan where he's saying literally like 12 things and 10 of them are just blatantly wrong, and showing his behind and showing how little he knows. So now it lends you to, okay, what else do you not know about? What else are you not doing your homework on? You're spouting yourself as this expert in all these other areas, geopolitics and things like that. However, I'm not a geopolitical expert. I'm not like the subject matter expert on China and Taiwan and things like that. So what are you saying to me in those areas that I now have to question? Because you just open your mouth instead of saying, hey, you know what, I'm not an expert in this. From my vantage point and from my view, I believe this. Well, then there you go. But when you just openly are trashing people, or you're just being passive aggressive, and you're just being ridiculous in your manner and just dismissing people, then that's when you have a big problem. So coming back to MLK, didn't live when he lived, obviously, and watched numerous speeches and things like that. He didn't seem like he acted like that. He wasn't dismissive of people. He wasn't, saying, oh, hey, well, screw you. You don't think like me, so you suck. He was never saying that. Again, for some reason in society, we have a very hard time holding opposing opinions in our head, meaning just because someone society might deem as bad or society might deem as good, people have a hard time thinking anything else. I'll give you another example, like politics. People have a hard time thinking, like a Donald Trump, for example. They have a hard time being able to say, like, hey, yeah, he did a lot of great things as president, but he also did a lot of these bad things as well. Or maybe he did some of these things that were personally wrong, or maybe he went about it a bad way. So maybe you could say, hey, these outcomes were good, but the way he went about it, he went around the system in some way, and that wasn't good. People have a hard time, like in society, you get railroaded a lot. If you just say like, hey, you're not hard line, this and that, full throat, then like you're not one of us. It's like, no, I can believe two things at the same time that are opposite of each other. And again, I think that's where you have to separate and I forget the saying exactly, but you have to separate the man from the mission, or you have to separate the man from the word, I guess. And again, you can go back to the Bible, you can go back to, looking at Jesus' disciples. And there's a reason that all of Jesus' disciples were not perfect people, and it was to help the average person have be empathetical and also relate to those people, knowing that Peter denied Jesus 3 times, and Saul was persecuting Jesus' followers, and then became one of his most ardent supporters. So you have to be able to separate the man from the mission. And this is why we talk so much about frameworks in this channel as well, understanding first principles, game theory, just real frameworks and nature's law. Because if you don't understand those things, then it becomes very hard. You get caught up in this like, well, he's just not a good person. I don't like him, so whatever he says is not true. That is one of the most unintelligent things you could ever say. And again, if you're if you're talking to someone and they're telling you 2 + 2 is 5, then yeah, you probably should question maybe other things they say. You're going to have to probably do a little more homework. However, when you're talking about, like in MLK's instance, love, justice, or things of that nature, and empathy, things like that, then we can obviously fairly easily take what he's saying and say, yeah, those are great things. If you're using those proper frameworks, like, yeah, those are unbelievable things to say, unbelievable things to do, and he spent a lot of time in his life doing that. That's wonderful. So that's my thought of the day with MLK. And again, some of these quotes are incredible. And again, he's not perfect. No man is. He had his faults. He had his misalignments. He had his issues, as we all do. And when you go through though, and you see things and the things that he did, you have to be able to hold opposing opinions in your head at the same time. Whether it's MLK or it's George Washington or Abraham Lincoln or whoever it is, you have to be able to see the good, and whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Again, we're all human beings. We're not perfect. And I think the true testament of a human being, and an intelligent human being, especially if you're kind of working in those 4 different areas of mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, is being able to see both sides at the same time and being okay with that, and not like getting your brain all twisted in knots, and being able to not operate. You have to be able to see through in those 4 areas and be able to see opposing views at the same time and be able to hold them in your head and give arguments for both, quite honestly. So, and that helps you come to a sound conclusion at the end of the day. So let me know your thoughts. That's just my thought on this MLK Day. Let me know your thoughts, and maybe the good things, or maybe how he touched your life, or maybe how he the things that resonated with you, or again maybe the things I'm talking about. Just these are my thoughts when I think of MLK, and I think of not the controversy, but I think of like people on different sides of the aisle saying different things, and like, oh, detractors and people that are for him, whatever. And this happens with life with everyone, right? The founding fathers, with political figures, with Cicero and Galileo, and like everyone's got their people on one side or the other. And if we can try to take that principled foundational, those frameworks, nature's law, first principles, the math and science and the laws of thermodynamics, things like that, if we can take those structures with things, then we're hopefully going to be generally led down to the truth at some point. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Please, like and subscribe to the channel. Please let me know, or share it if you think someone could get something out of this, or if you find it intriguing at all, and let me know your thoughts. I'm just very curious, and I appreciate your time spending with us. It really means more than anything. It truly does. Time is something we can't get more of, and so I appreciate you spending it here. And as we say many times, Bitcoin is time and time is Bitcoin. So make the fair trade for yourself. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. At the end of the day, something that MLK fought a lot for. Obviously, fought a lot of his life for freedom. So I appreciate you, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.